Yo guys, what is up? And in this video, we'll be celebrating 10k subscribers. Yes sir. And I'm gonna vent my happiness onto Theobald bot, you know. Today I'm gonna be sharing with you guys Q&A questions. I'm gonna be showing you my mods, my keybinds, my settings, everything that you need to know to, you know, basically copy me and also get pro like me, but also get to know more about me now that I've hit 10k and I've an actual fan base. So yeah, let's get right into it. Alright, I know like no one asked this, but I'm gonna show my setup. And this is of course my setup. So we got ourselves obviously the Wooting 60HE. It's a great keyboard. We got the Model O. It's a great mouse. We got a PC. It's pretty great. We got a USB hub and a hard drive. Don't question what's in there. And yeah, we got two monitors. It's pretty good. This one's a 1440p, 240 hertz. It's pretty damn great. And this one's just like a regular monitor. And of course, I've got a 4060 Ti and an AMD, whatever the frick that is. I don't know. And here's like a sneak peek at the games I got. Don't judge. And yeah, that's kind of it. And also this thing, Stream Deck. And one last thing, we got ourselves, of course, the toe mouse. That's right. My feet touch this a lot. The cables, they're managed pretty alright. It ain't that bad, okay? I just don't got it. I don't got the time to put holes in my desk. And over here I'd put the headphones here. Pretty good. And here is the Hatsune Miku corner. This is where I got all my figurines. They're just in this corner. I got a few memes on the side. But don't worry, it's nothing weird. It's just Hatsune Miku. I'm not a Guna, okay? It ain't no Guna characters. Not in my setup. And of course, we got a window here to take a look at the great view. And oh yeah, I forgot the mic. It's just the Blue Yeti. Alright, it's just a Blue Yeti on a mic stand. So yeah, that's my setup. Now we're going to be doing a reveal of my settings, my keybinds, and of course the texture pack. I think the first thing I'll show is like my keybinds. These are my current keybinds and the ones I'm probably going to stick to forever, because I have been changing them sometimes. But yeah, the main things is like the sword is Z, the apples are Q, the pearls are G, and of course I use the ESDF setup, so it's not WASD. For the B is my totem, this is my glowstone and anchor, which is just W and R, which is basically Q and E, and then we got my obsidian and my crystal on A and V, and the axis on T. All pretty good keybinds, and also my inventory and swap item with offhand is 3 and 4. And these are pretty optimized stuff, you know, you can do Q and A and V, Q and A and B, and then you can be hitting crazy anchors, and of course, the crystals. And also, you might have realized that I changed my hotbar, and that was just to switch it up so it'd be accurate to Marlo's new video about hotbar. So hopefully now I should be better with that stuff. And of course, if you want to know the other stuff, this would be my density, this would be my breach mace, this would be my elytra, this would be my rocket, this would be like my axe and stuff like that. And yeah, everything would just be other stuff. The thing though you might be a bit more confused about is this stuff. And this is basically just ESDF, but except backwards is actually the spacebar. And I use jump for shift because I'm gonna be honest, it's actually pretty optimal. This is really damn optimized, because if you think about it, when you play Minecraft, what is your pinky doing? Your pinky is literally just doing nothing other than pressing caps lock or shift. And if you're using ESDF, then you might be clicking A and Z or control, you know. But the thing is, you're barely using your pinky. So if you switch your pinky to something that you're going to be doing a lot more, that way it's basically a really utilized thing, and it makes the pinky a lot more useful. And then you can use other keybinds for other stuff. And of course, I have space here because I think it's actually a lot better for combos if you are able to S-tap a lot faster. Because if you're just using ESDF, then you have to go this, then that, then this with like the same thing. And I feel like it can get tiring. But if you do
if you use E and space, it makes it like a lot more comfortable and a lot easier to do a lot of S-tap combos. And it just makes it a lot more fun. I enjoy it a lot more. And I think that just makes it a lot more optimized for Minecraft. One thing though that you may not have noticed, but is probably the most important keybind that I actually have, is the fact that I've swapped my right click and left click button. This means I'm attacking with my right click and I place blocks with my left click. And this is simply because of the fact that we're not in 1.8 anymore and we don't have to start swinging our swords like crazy. But this is best for Crystal because of the fact that most Crystal players, they're going to have to swap their hand grip to start butterfly clicking with their right mouse button, which, you know, it's not the best for Crystal because, you know, it just isn't. But the fact that I've swapped it makes me easily be able to grip my hand, click to swing, but also spam butterfly click place blocks, you know, to spam anchor, spam crystals, do whatever I want. And it's mostly for Crystal, but it makes it so much freaking better to play Crystal. For my regular settings, you know, it's just the basic stuff. We got GUI scale 3, we got view bobbing off, you know, it's all like the basic stuff. But I do have my graphics on fancy because this basically changes whether you can see through leaves or not. And I want to be able to see through leaves because it can be important if someone is hiding in a tree. You never know. You never know. And of course, like the basic stuff like vignette is off. You gotta have FOV effects off, damage chill off, all this stuff's off, and music and sounds is pretty balanced. I got it like this, blocks on 10 so I can hear it, and everything else is just. And for the pack, I use a bunch of different packs. This is just a temporary one. You don't need that. But I've basically got this pack, It's From Me pack. This is just so I can see like through the particles of crystals, and also so the totem is a lot smaller when I pop. And smaller handhelds just makes everything in my hand smaller so I can see more of the screen. Shield corrections just so the shield isn't getting my face all the time. No fishing bobber is just so if anyone ever tried to fish on my face and do a strat like that, they can't do that. And then black icons is just the dark mode of the voice chat, which makes it a lot more cozy, more vibey. And default dark mode, well, you know what that is. It just makes everything darker. You know, we like black things, but it just makes it more comfortable, especially for nighttime. You know, I don't know why that's more of a default feature. Mojang should definitely add that as more of a default feature because I think dark mode as an actual mode would just be so much cooler. And also there's one last thing that you can only have if you have sodium, which is instant sneak, where basically when you sneak, it's instant go down, instant go up. And this just makes like speed bridging, stuff like that feel a lot more responsive. And last thing, of course, my mods. These are all my mods. They're all pretty self-explanatory. Carbot mod is just to summon that bot. Command keys for that, you know. It's all good stuff. Health indicators, this, that, all the stuff, you know. I have quite a few mods actually, and they're all for 1.21.4, which is the thing I also use. And also, I don't use a client. I basically just use the base Minecraft, and I have all the mods that you'd have on like Luna client, stuff like that, all put on the base Minecraft. But I do this only because of the fact that it makes all the mods work. Like if I need to use a replay, the replay isn't going to be like glitched like it is on Feather Client. You can't look at your own replays because it's glitched. So basically all mods work on the base Minecraft, which is why I use the base Minecraft. Now we're going to do some Q&A questions. What motivates you to make content? What's the reason behind it? Do you enjoy doing it yourself, or do you like teaching others? Well, what motivates me is basically just the community, you guys. Basically all the comments I get, all the likes I get, just the basic stuff that you like. That just motivates me. It's not really the money. The money is obviously going to motivate me in the long term, but the short term is just getting all the likes and having a community like you guys. What's your YouTube income? Right now I make 300 Australian dollars per month. What's my girlfriend's name? I don't have one, but I'll get one. I'll get one. What's my PC specs? I already said that. Don't know what the word peripherals means. Don't call me dumb. And why did I start YouTube, and did my parents like it? I just started for fun, but I always wanted to be a YouTuber, and my parents were fine with it because it has no harm to it. What is your second main game mode? Probably Crystal. Who's your favorite PvPer? Probably Marlo or Avanti. If you were to ever get high tier 1 on Mace, when do you think you will? Like a year. Do you have any tips for starting a YouTube channel? Just start posting videos. The more you do it, the better. What techniques should you practice to learn Mace as a beginner? Probably just stun slams and pearl up stuff, like, you know, the pearl on the wind charge. What are some good ways to practice PvP? Use that bot, the Theobald bot. And will I ever make SMP content? I do, but I'll probably start doing it more. What was your motivation to keep uploading as a beginner? Probably just having ideas and wanting it to share on YouTube for fun. And then that just grows into like more professional content, and then you start blowing up. How did you get into Maze PvP? I got into it like when it first came out. I was like, oh my gosh, this has some great potential. And the actual main reason I wanted to do it was just so I can have the lead on it. So like when my friends start getting into it, like when it actually starts getting popular, I'll be better than them. So I can just like flex on them and have the upper hand. How did you learn about Minecraft, and when did you start Minecraft? I started Minecraft in 2013 when my dad got the PlayStation 3, and he was like, what game should I get for my son? And he got me Minecraft. Best decision he ever made. How tall are you? I'm like 5'10", which is like 178 centimeters. When's my birthday? It's on the 31st of May. What inspired you to go to YouTube? Money. Who inspired me to Maze PvP? Myself. I wanted to be the inspiration to other people. Alright. And who is your inspiration on being a YouTuber? I don't really have many inspirations. I probably just like copy other people's YouTube styles about Minecraft and then made my own style. I don't really have inspirations. The inspiration is just myself. If I fought Wembo at Maze PvP, would I win? Yes, 100%. Even on 300 ping, I'd beat him. I'd beat his ass. Because it's not about who can stun slam and who can pearl up. It's about who can do it better. And I can do it better. What game mode would you main if Maze didn't exist? Probably Crystal. Favorite anime? Now, I'm not an anime person. I've only ever watched 2, and they were pretty alright. But I'm just not into like series-based stuff like anime. But I'd probably say it's Shikano. I have essential tremors. Can I play Maze PvP? Well, if you got a disability like that, then I think you can. You just have to really manage and like understand how you can control it, and probably only play like 1 hour or 30 minutes a day, and just make sure you can control it during a tier test. How to set perfect FOV and sensitivity? Well, perfect FOV is probably like 90 to 100, and sensitivity, I would pick 800 DPI, so that way you can sort through into your inventory pretty easily. Because I feel like 1600 DPI is a little too fast. And just basically just get the same sensitivity as you would like Fortnite. Just like search up Fortnite, you can see how they're just flicking like crazy. So just get like a kind of a high sense. Don't get like a FPS shooter sense. Get a Fortnite sense. What's my suggestion to getting better at Maze? Well, you gotta play it like chess, and I'm sure you know how that is. But basically just fire and retaliate to what they're doing. You just retaliate back, you launch attacks, you react. You just gotta have a lot of experience to get good at Maze. Who do you think is the hardest player to fight in casuals and Drain? Probably Marlo, because she treats casuals as Drain, and also she's really good at Drain. So yeah, Marlo. Do I use my toes for stun slamming? Yes, I do. And it's a great option. What's the most difficult thing to achieve in Maze PvP? I think the most difficult thing is just mastering the stun slams. Because I knew from like early on that if I knew how to master stun slams and do it consistently, then I'd basically be able to dominate Maze PvP. But still, it was like so hard to just find the perfect stun slam method. But I have finally found it, and that's why I'm so good. But yeah, the most difficult thing is just mastering that. But once you do that, it's just the best thing to master. Why did I transition from Crystal to Maze? Well, probably because I was just like learning Maze, and I kind of got too involved in it, and I had to push Crystal aside. What are my PvP hot takes? Well, my main hot take is that Netherite should be removed from MC tiers, because Netherite PvP is just like, it's an old and dead game mode. The only reason why people really played Netherite pot was because back in 2020 the KB was randomized, so it was just like a good way to understand how Netherite KB worked. And then updates happened, and we have KB1 on swords to counter and basically make it like normal Minecraft. And Netherite pot's just kind of pointless to have. I feel like it should just be deleted, you know. And also another hot take is that they should add cobwebs and water to SMPs, to the SMP kit. Why am I here? to like, subscribe, and hit that bell. How old am I? I'm 19. And that's going to be all the Q&A questions I'm going to answer today. And I thank you guys so much for actually bringing me this far. Because I'm going to be honest, I never would have actually expected to make it this far on YouTube. Oh my gosh. My cat is freaking scratching on my window, wanting to be let in. But yeah, thank you guys so much, because I genuinely did not expect to make it this far. And it's all thanks to you guys, and of course, my skills and the YouTube algorithm. And the Lord Jesus Christ. Oh my gosh. Stop! I'll let you in. Anyways, thank you guys. And thanks for sticking around, because I'm only gonna go further up. We're gonna hit 10 or 20k soon. Anyway, thank you guys for watching. See ya.